This is
Absolutely.
Lori and Everett Bowes. They're Ambassador Diamonds. I'll have them share a little bit about their story before they get going. And then they're going to jump right in. They know everything that's going on. I've already shared the information, Everett, you shared with me. So they've already
Correct.
looked at that. They've read that, and they've seen the picture that you sent me as well. So
Correct.
take the wheel.
Awesome. Well, I'll start. I'm Laurie Bowes and my husband Everett. We joined, August will be 2 years. And so we are one of those crazy people that kind of ran to the top, mostly because we didn't have a choice. And so we definitely changed our lives with this business. And I just want to encourage you guys that we didn't have that, easy story. I didn't have a lot of support from my friends and family, and I made it work. I figured out how to do parties, do social media. I used every outlet that I could figure out, which I think is really important. And I just didn't stop. I hit the momentum, and then I kept going to duplicate myself. And I think that's important. So finding the right people for my team was something that I knew was key. And so all of my high legs right now are people I assigned within my first 8 weeks. And so sometimes that happens. Sometimes it takes longer to find your aces. And so I encourage you, no matter what, how long it takes you, it just matters how you get there, what you're doing there. And so whatever it's going to talk about tonight with you guys is...
Hey, Lori, really quick, sorry to interrupt you guys. I tried to mute everybody, but it looks like some of you are unmuted. Could you please go to your phone and mute your phone right now? We're getting a lot of feedback, y'all. I may go through here really quick. Sorry, guys. I'm going to...
No, it's important.
Yeah, let me just mute everyone again. And
I love your kids, but...
I'll unmute you guys. Okay. How do I unmute you guys now? Are you unmuted? No.
There you go. We're unmuted now.
Can you hear me?
Okay, great. Yes. All right, guys,
Okay.
If you're just jumping on, please mute your video. Don't unmute yourself. We're recording this, and so we want to make sure that we don't get feedback and all that craziness. So, okay, keep going. Sorry.
So we kind of just dove in. Fast forward, the last 2 years have just been absolutely awesome and crazy and all sorts of fun. And I had a couple ahas I just wanted to share with you, because Everett's going to take over and do a lot of the branding and messaging and who you are and how how you're perceived through people, through social media and in person. And so something for me is when I first started, I tried to reinvent the wheel. I'm very green. And so I looked at everything, was kind of oh, my idea is much better. And so let me do it this way. And that worked for a small period of time. My excitement probably made up for a lot of the errors I was making. And so my aha, and I shared it at Brain Perfect, so some of you may have heard it, was simplifying the steps to success. And I always looked at them this is a waste of time. This can't be that easy. The auto ship is not important. And something that I realized was that the auto shipment was your answer to everything, is getting the product on people, getting the wrap on people. And that is so important. So something in my business, when I do in person, I'm always hitting that party pad. I'm utilizing what it was. Things like wow, lip and eye wraps that you can see a result with at a party, on a one-on-one. And on social media, my goal is to do the party pad. And so if you're utilizing social media, I encourage you to be yourself. You'll learn through that tonight from Everett, just how to do that on social media. But I jump on the phone with people. That's kind of my golden secret. And so although I do use social media, I also have that party pad that I do over the phone. And so although I'm not rapping that person, I'm acting like I'm rapping them. So when they're on the phone, I'm giving them a vision of what the rap is like and what it feels like, and giving them a spa moment on the phone, kind of like a takeaway from their day. I spend about 10 or 15 minutes doing that. I simply go through the party pad, and I'm just pretty bold at the end. I just give them a choice. And so that's kind of how we run our business. I still enroll a lot of loyal customers. I think that's really important. They're the love of our business and the reason our business works. And they also give you potential distributors. And so I just want to encourage you guys to make it simple. I think that most of us sit in the audience. I know I do when I first showed up at conference by myself, brand new, that I was there's a secret out there that someone's not telling me. And the secret is that it is the steps to success, that there isn't, that it actually is that easy. It's just making sure that you're keeping it simple and you're being consistent. And I love like whatever we'll talk about, because it talks about what to do in person, on social media, at work, at school, wherever you are, is branding yourself, because you are your business, you're your billboard. You don't have to act like anybody else. So I encourage you not to turn into somebody else, just be you and let people love you, let people be excited about you. That was one of the things I just kind of stuck with, was being myself. And so when you see, Rachel or me or whoever else you follow, you may try to be like them. And I want to encourage you to be inspired by people that are where you want to be, and be encouraged and be motivated, and look at the things that they do or say or what they post and mimic that, but be yourself, because people are going to love you, and ultimately you'll fail at trying to be somebody else. And so be yourself. I'm quirky and I'm weird sometimes, and I just like to embrace that part. And so, love who you are, and you will be successful. And love who you are when you're doing this type of success. You have to utilize the products like you really do. It sounds so simple to be like, run your auto shipment, but I really encourage you guys to be a product of the product. And the auto shipment is there not so the company makes money, it's so you make money. They're not interested in making $80 a month. They're interested in making $8 million a month. And that doesn't come from an auto shipment. That comes from you being successful. They want to see your life change. And so don't look at it like I'm required to run this auto shipment. Look at it like I get to. And when you have the products on hand, it's accountability. When you're using them, you're talking about them, and make your life change. If your life changes from the products, from the business, becoming a better person, people are attracted to that in all areas of your life, regardless of their experience with multi-level marketing or whatever it is. And so let it works change your life. I just think that's so important. And using the products, I still try all the products. I still love all the products. Being pregnant limits me on some stuff, but I'll still be like, I'll try this. I'll just make sure I'm good. So I just really want to encourage you guys just to be, you can't sell something that you're not using that you don't love. So
great.
Be
Awesome.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
And this is Everett. He's my awesome husband.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. Number one, this is interactive. So if you have a question, either unmute yourself and ask it, or type it in the chat. I do have my chat window open. I will get to you like as fast as possible. And so anyway, I do want you to be interactive, ask questions. Number two, we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time. So I'm going to kind of speak quickly. If for some reason the internet signal is cutting out, stop it. Let's just, especially you, Rachel, interrupt me like 100 times. I don't care. All right. And then the last thing is you have to be responsible for getting something out of this. I really, really want you to do that. So take notes. As fun as this is going to be, you're going to think, oh my gosh, that was really cool. I can really use that. But then, 5, 6, 7 more other really cool things are going to pop up, and that might squeeze out. So commit to taking some notes, and then on top of taking notes, commit to sharing something with your team or on social media or something. I feel like we learn best when we teach. So, think about learning something today so that you can teach it to people who might be on your teams or under you or whatever that might be. All right. So what we're going to talk about is branding. All right. How do I stay organized? That's a great question. Probably not something I'm going to get into on this call right now. I'm not 100% sure. So let me see. I believe Rachel was saying that earlier. Perfect. So we're going to talk about branding. And the thing that you want to do, especially if you're on a 90-day crunch, a 90-day focus, you want to get you out there as much as possible. The problem is that whether you're, a 20-year-old college student or you're, 40-something-year-old whatever, a lot of times we don't know who we are. So what happens is you see someone like Rachel who's doing great, and she's got these great posts, and you're like, wow, I'm going to post the same thing. And you see somebody else who's doing something and they have success, so you copy them, and so on and so on and so on. And bottom line is you copy the best parts of everybody that you know. The problem by doing that is you actually erode trust every time you do that. You kind of take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes you take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And so what I'm going to do is I want to help walk you through how to find your story, how to find you. This is so important for social media. And it's going to sound like that's all we're talking about here is social media. But it's not. This is how you conduct yourself in real life, face-to-face, over the phone, social media, everything. All right? So hopefully that part is clear. All right, hopefully you've already seen this graphic. There you go. And so this is a graphic that's going to be kind of your cheat sheet for tonight. So let me explain what this concept is. If you're writing something down, you might want to write down this phrase called archetypes in branding. Archetypes in branding. And so let me explain what this term archetype means. You know that when you go to the movies, whether you're watching Fast and the Furious or you're watching a Shakespearean play, Romeo and Juliet, you see characters. You know there's always a hero, you know there's always a villain, you know that there's always going to be different characters. The story is what's going to be incredibly different, whether you're in America or Europe or Asia, whether it's today or it was 200 or 2,000 years ago, the story will be different. But there's certain characters that transcend time, that transcend culture. And that, I want you to understand that term character. I want you to kind of translate that to an archetype. And so an archetype is something that, whether it was a Greek, Greek mythology, which is thousands of years old, I think, thousands. It's at least hundreds, but I'm pretty sure it's thousands of years old. So it's going to be from Greek mythology, which obviously is another nation and another time, all the way up to, a Broadway play. There are reoccurring characters. In business, the businesses that do best realize that you have to become a person in order to connect. Remember, people connect with people. People do not connect with products. People do not connect with services. So I'm going to use an object lesson. If I love this beer that I happen to have sitting on my desk, and I want you to try to buy some, simply taking a picture of this beer and posting on my social media is not going to get people to connect with me. I need people to connect with me, and I need to let this beer or whatever my product is be a part of my life. And so advertising for, oh my gosh, at least let's call it 100 years, was simply all you had to do was show the product. And then all of a sudden, competition came in. You had to show the product and now tell about some of the features. And so let's start talking about some networks products. So let's, old school, you would basically just have to show a box of wraps and you would make a lot of money. Then you had to show the wraps and then talk about the features. But then we moved into one of our more recent eras into something called features and benefits. It's not enough to talk about a car and say 4x4. Now you need to say go anywhere, because it has 4-wheel drive. So this is the most common era of advertising that we're kind of departing right now. And it's a benefits-based advertising.
Hey guys, just real quick, I'm going to hop on. Please be sure and mute your phones so that you don't have to worry. Hey, I'm going to just go through and mute all again, and will you unmute yourself? Just so we can make sure. Okay, ready, go. All right.
All right, I should be unmuted again. Okay.
Cool. We'll try that again.
Okay.
This is awesome.
So basically, like I said, and so when you watch a lot of television today, when you read a bunch of magazines, hopefully television has evolved enough. But when you read magazines, you're going to see, instead of just the list of the colors of the car and the features, and it'll say XM radio, or no, it's instead of it saying XM radio, it's going to say like, listen to the radio anywhere you go. Take your stations with you. It's the benefits of it. The problem is that, let's think about our parents. In the 1950s and 60s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, if you walked into a grocery store, and there's some stats on this, I just don't have them. You walked into a grocery store, there may have been like four brands of milk that you could choose from, 3 brands of bread, a couple of brands of crackers, that's it. When you walk into a grocery store today, you are inundated with thousands of products and literally dozens of brands of each product. And so showing the product is no longer enough. The features of the product are not enough. The benefits of the product are not enough, because guess what? We don't believe people. When they say it will work, we say, no, it doesn't, because everybody says it works and it doesn't always work. We don't trust people. Television, years ago, used to be something called a legitimizer. If you simply were on television, that meant your product was real, legit, it worked. Today, it does not matter. How many of those late night commercials do you see and you're going, the sham wow, really? Does it really work like that? And think about Billy Mays and all the great things that he sold. How many times did you finish one of those commercials or infomercials and really wonder, does it really work? So here we are today, and we think if I take a picture and I show cleanse and I post it on social media, I'm going to make $10,000 a month. And for some reason, it's not working for you. Or better yet, we'll take a before and after. Here's the before and after. We put them side by side. We post on social media. I'm going to make 10 grand a month now. And it doesn't happen. Why? Because we don't trust it. The people that are in your audience, and I use this word audience because it means your social media followers, and it means the people you speak to and you bump into on a regular basis. That's your audience. Your audience doesn't trust. That's all there is to it. And hopefully you don't trust also. This is a survival mechanism for us. And so we are making snap judgments instantaneously thousands of times a day, whether you know it or not. So when you're walking down the street, sometimes you go, I think I need to cross the street right here. I don't like what I'm about to get into here. I don't like what's coming towards me. And so it's whether it's that or you go, oh, maybe you have a child and you see whether it's a person or an animal and you're going to make that snap judgment of, hey, go there or don't go there. Don't approach this. We have to make judgment calls. And that's what people are doing through your social media, and that's what people are doing with you all the time. One last thing about advertising in general. We are used to what I call interruption-based advertising. So when you go buy a People magazine or you turn on Scandal or The Bachelorette, which my wife is missing right now, when you turn on The Bachelorette, how upset would you be if you saw for the first 40 minutes it was just commercials, especially commercials for things that you don't really know if you trust? I don't, So let's go to social media today. When you log into Facebook, when you log into Instagram, which is obviously owned by Facebook, and you start scrolling, why did you log in? You logged in to see what your friends are up to. But what's happening? What's happening is you have people selling It Works, Unique, Beachbody, Shakeology, and 15 other MLMs on there. Not only that, but now Instagram and Facebook have a ton of ads that are going through too. On top of that, you've got all the Etsy and boutique shops, and then the people who are just trying to sell their kids. I swear, I don't know what the brand rep search thing is anyway. So you've got, so when somebody opens up their Instagram today, how many ads do they scroll through when they're really just trying to catch up with their family and their friends? Now, I have a rule. Facebook is connections with people you know. Instagram is connections with people you don't know. It's not 100% accurate, but if you go with it, you really understand. I connect on Instagram with people that we don't even know at all. But Facebook, it's kind of like you have to meet a little bit of a threshold. As a business person, as a social media marketer, you are a little different, but that's the general rule. So this is why posts and social media that just show product, that just show before and afters, that talk about income that is off the charts, outrageous, it's why they don't connect. It's why a graphic, when you show an income chart, it's why that graphic doesn't connect. People connect with people. And so what the hard part is, how can you show that you're able to accomplish this in life because of cleanse? That's tough. How are you able to accomplish this in life because of the wraps or greens or chews or whatever? So it's a tough challenge, but it's definitely something that you can do. So as you are building this trust in people, remember, you're building trust over time. Trust takes time to build, but you can erode it in one post. And what happens is when we're face to face, and let's say I'm talking to Rachel and we're just having a great conversation. I mean, it's just awesome, right? And I say something that's just a little bit off, just a bit. 80% of communication is nonverbal. I'm going to see it in her eyes. I might see it in like a little something. I might see it in wrinkle. It's not even something that we necessarily can articulate. I would just know, I think I offended her a little bit. All right? That's if she doesn't just flat out tell me, hey, what did you mean by that? All right. Social media, you don't get it. They just either drop you, or the worst, you become irrelevant. Everything you say from now on is irrelevant. If they stay with you, you are relegated to that side of their brain that says, I don't care about this, I don't care about that. All right. The problem is a lot of people, a lot of distributors are going, wow, I've got like 5 PDTs. And you don't realize, no, that person is so not interested in you, it's not even funny. Because on social media, on Facebook, they're just going to hit unfollow. And so they're not even looking at your posts anymore. On Instagram, they're just going to drop you and they're out. So it's important to understand that you don't get the chance to make a mistake, especially in social media. You have to be on every time. And that's where this comes in. So we talked about in the beginning that there are characters that kind of transcend time and culture and nationality. And I use this word archetypes. It's just a big, broader thing. Story changes, but the archetypes don't. And so there are 12 archetypes that every single business, everyone falls into. And this is what I use to coach businesses through. That I said people connect with people, not with objects. So if you're Nike, how do I get people to buy my Nike sneakers? And the answer is you've got to make Nike human. You have to make Nike like a person. And so think about, and I use Apple for a billion examples. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I actually used to work there. Number two, I love them. Number three, they were the most valuable company in the world. They're either number 1, 2, or 3 today. I don't even remember. And then there's a difference between the most valuable and the most valuable brand. They are whether their market cap makes them the most valuable company on the planet right now, it'll fluctuate, but they are the most valuable brand. So they do this best. If you ever watched Steve Jobs do a product introduction, he's going to introduce the new iPhone. He's going to introduce the new iPad. He's at the end of it, he's going to do all of his fanfare, and then he's going to say, introducing iPhone. He doesn't say introducing the iPhone. He says introducing iPhone. And then he's going to get it out, and he's going to say, with iPhone, you can this. With iPhone, you can that. With iPhone, you can, and he's not saying, hey, Rachel, on an iPhone, you're able to do that. He's saying it like it's your friend. iPhone became a person. iPad is a person. iMac is a person. And so this is the most valuable company in the world. And so think about it. When you go to an Apple store, what does it look like inside? If you've been to one in New York or California or Germany, they are, boom, identical. Where the desk is different, but you know there's a Genius Bar, you know that the wood grain, the metal, the whatever. This is called branding. A lot of people think branding simply means your logo. It is not your logo. Branding is an expected behavior, and so you are a brand. What that means is, if I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see, oh, here comes a post by Rachel, I should already have an idea of what this post is going to be before I even see it. If I get post notifications on my phone and it says Rachel Williamson has just posted, whether it's on Instagram or it's on Facebook, before I even open it, I should already have an idea of what that post is going to be. Because if she's doing it right, I'm going to go, oh, Rachel posted, and I'm going to open it. Otherwise, I don't care. And so when you're inconsistent, I don't care. That's what happens. And I will never tell you that. I will just unfollow. Or if you're in my stream, I just scream right past you. Remember, this isn't just about social media. This is about real life too. So that also means if I see Rachel walking down the street toward me, is this the person I want to walk toward? Or is this the person I want to walk away from? Is this the person I'm going to quickly tie my shoe? Or is this the person I'm going to stop everything? Because I have an expected behavior. I know what Rachel's going to do as soon as I see her. I have an expectation of it. That's branding. And so it's not about her logo or her purse or her hair. It's about what I expect. Now, when you're doing this right, people know what to expect from you. And so, as I said, you are one of these 12. That's all there is to it. What happens is I sit here and I go, oh my gosh, Rachel just posted this amazing post. It was so cool. Copy, paste, post. And why isn't it working for me? Because Rachel's a completely different person than me. That's why. And the same if Samantha does it or anybody else does it. When it works is if Samantha and I are we are the same kind of a person. Samantha and I are one of these, we're the same one. Sometimes then that's where it's going to work for you, okay? So you need to figure out who you are on this list. And so the bulk of our time, and I'm going to pause for questions, but the bulk of our time is going to be, I want to help you figure out who you are because you need to know this now. This isn't just good for business. This is like great for life. I'm 43. How sad is it if I'm 43 and I don't even know who I am still, right? So this isn't just like great for business, fun. This is killer for life. Now, as we look at the chart, you have aspects of you, all of these, all right? There's a this side of you and a that side of you, and at times you're like this and whatever. I'm just pointing aimlessly. But at the end of the day, you are one of these things. Now, I don't want you to get caught up in the actual words, the titles. For instance, you see the word rebel on there. Don't get caught up thinking rebels are bad. Rebel is, Rosa Parks, the civil rights person, she got on the whites only bus or whatever and didn't move. That is a rebel, and it is a beautiful picture of rebellion. Richard Branson, who started Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Records and Virgin Airline, all that stuff. He is a rebel. Steve Jobs is largely considered a rebel, but he's all over this map. But anyway, there's a term on there called lover. That is just the hardest one for me to describe. That and magician. They're so tough to describe. So I'll save those kind of more for last. All right. Now, let's pause. I'm going to look at these chat questions real quick, and also I'm taking notes. People connect with people. Yes, but you be branding. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about branding here for a real quick second. Most of you, and I say collectively you because this happens on our team as well, you're doing a great job of marketing. It works. That's not going to help you. You need to market you. You are selling you. The last thing you want to do is sell wraps. You need to sell you selling wraps, because you might convince me to go buy wraps and I'm going to go call up my sister-in-law because I know she's a distributor too. So what is it about you? What is it about you that's going to make me go, you know what? I want to buy, but I want to buy from you. I want to sign up as a distributor. That's it. I know this, but I want to sign up under you. Why? So remember, that's why this is a harder road, because it's so easy just to take a box of wraps and put it on social media and that's it. Great, I did my job. I posted 3 times a day, I'm good. No, it's harder than that, but it's way more rewarding, like hugely more rewarding, okay? We went to Ambassador in a year. What? All right, so this works. Trust me, it works. All right, hold on, I got some things. So anyway, you're branding you, you're selling you. You are a solution provider. You are a health and wellness counselor or consultant, and It Works Products. This is it. This is how you solve people's solutions and so on. Okay. Can you give the car example you gave the ambassador page? Absolutely. Okay. And then notice over the past month, stop copying people's posts. Yes. Started talking about my life. So, all right. So here we go. I don't know if you want to mute again, Rachel.
Let me mute everyone. Okay, just a second. Okay, it's muted.
And you got me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's one of the things that I just recently did on the ambassador page. When I walk companies through this, one of the questions I always ask, and you'll see this even on like Google, if you Google this kind of stuff, it's people just don't know how to interpret the answers. That's the problem. But anyway, so I ask a company, and I always use the word brand, right? I always say, if your brand were a car, what car would you be? All right. But before I ask them this, I ask each individual to complete an exercise, a worksheet. And I say, hey, fill this out about you. I just want to get to know you better. And so they're just filling out all the stuff about themselves. And then the meeting starts, I let somebody else kick it off, kind of do an introduction. And I'm sitting there feverishly scoring everybody. So I know you don't know these terms yet, but basically, let's say I'm reading Rachel's, and I come out and I go, wow, she's a comic. All right, no problem. But then I go, wait a minute, the brand is a nurturer brand. And this really happened for me. I was working with a restaurant group, and the restaurant was one identity, but the person in charge of marketing was literally a comic. And so what they had to realize is he has to put his own personality off to the side in order to put the brand's personality out there in front of the people. And so I often talk about Disney as the same way. Disney is an innocent archetype on your chart. But I guarantee you the CEO of Disney is not an innocent archetype. He's probably a leader, maybe even a hero, but he's not an innocent. And so that's why you never, when you look at a billboard for Disney, it's always going to be, happiest place on earth, dreams, just believe, when you wish upon a star. Do you think the CEO of Disney is wishing upon a star? No. Okay? So you have to remember who you are behind closed doors is not necessarily who the public facing side of you. I'll use Laurie as a great example. On this sheet, Laurie is an innocent. So let me give you an idea of innocent companies. Coke is an innocent. Disney is an innocent. And let's just stop right there. And Laurie is an innocent. Now, what does that mean? Coke, in my opinion, is literally killing people. I'm not exaggerating. I can't stop drinking it myself. But in my opinion, the soda companies today are like yesterday's tobacco companies. Tobacco companies were manipulating the levels of nicotine to make people more addicted. Today, soda companies are manipulating the level of sugar in their soft drinks. And let's face it, we are addicted to soda. I'm not afraid to admit it. But when you say Coke, you are making people diabetic, obese, and causing all of these other health problems. You know what they say? What? Are you serious? Here, have a Coke. What? Us? No. No. In fact, we've got Diet Coke. What? Diet Coke is horrible for you. It's unreal bad. And when you talk to them about it, well, no. And they think, and so look at their slogans, have a Coke and a smile. Really? That's the cure for what ails the world is have a Coke and a smile. Share a Coke with a friend. It's so innocent. It's not even funny. Look at Disney. Happiest place on earth. Have you gone to Disney? Have you stood in 98-degree temperature and 118% humidity with one line? Takes an hour to get through. And you've only got how many hours of the day? You got 3 parks. There's more family fighting, kids that are ungrateful. It is a miserable day. In hindsight, it was happy. But while you're there, how many times do you walk through Disney and your kids just screaming, crying, right? But it's the happiest place on earth. And honestly, I love Disney. But anyway, all that to say, these are innocent archetypes. Now, Laurie, how is Laurie an innocent archetype? Number 1, this is the girl who gets by wearing a tutu on stage when she's introduced as like one of the newest ambassadors, right? Not every girl is able to wear a tutu and walk the stage and have Mark Pentecost hand you a microphone and so on. This is why Laurie is able to, wear what she wears. She wears shoes that have bows on the back, like huge bows, because our last name is Bows. Her innocent archetype, your archetype dictates what you say, what you don't say, where you say it, how you say it, what you wear, how you dress, what you don't wear, all right? I mean, it's everything. So your archetype is hugely important. And the problem is, excuse me, one, we don't know who we are. Two, we copy everybody because we're insecure. And three, we're just, daggone it, we're desperate. And we need something to work. So I'm going to try everything. And that's the worst of all. The last part, number 4, is that we want to appeal to everybody. And by trying to appeal to everybody, the only thing you do is alienate everybody. Instead, you need to be narrow, extremely narrow. And by being narrow, you become broadly attractive. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. So let's go back to Apple. Apple made computers. That's what they were known for. And the PC world kicked their rear. That's all there was to it. Apple was the most expensive computer, and PCs were getting cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. Apple was either staying higher, or either this higher just kept on going higher and so on. But Apple knew who they were. And Apple was the Ferrari of the computer business. So while Ford and Mazda and Toyota are making cheaper, cheaper, cheaper economical cars, Ferrari wasn't trying to make a $20,000 Ferrari. Ferrari knows who they are. We're going to make a $200,000 Ferrari. And that's what Apple did. So your identity dictates what you do, how you do it, and so on. Apple became the most styled. I mean, there is so much style today in your desks, in your chairs, in everything around you. Honestly, credit Apple for it. Apple brought design as a differentiator. And so what that means for you, your look. Now, I'm not talking about attractiveness. I'm talking about in social media, your feed should have a certain style to it. I'm not saying it needs to be amazing. It needs to be you. And so if you're going to take a picture of your tacos today, a picture of you and your significant other at night, and then a picture on the beach tomorrow, the looks of these things are going to be all over the place, all right? So at some point, you need to start asking yourself, as if Laurie is the innocent archetype, what part does Taco Tuesday play in advancing her brand? It doesn't. Our food will almost never hit our social media. It doesn't advance our brand. Does it build trust? Think about this. Supplements are essentially drugs, right? I mean, they're not FDA approved, but they're pills. I'm sorry, anything in pill form is a drug, in my opinion. So if you're posting on social media, you're asking strangers to buy drugs off of you over the internet. You need a high degree of trust, hugely high. So how do we figure the archetype? I'm going to get you there. So every post you make builds trust or erodes it. You erode it one time, you may never get that person back. You build trust 20 times, you may just barely be scratching the surface of breaking through. All right, how do you identify your own archetype? This is tough. It's easy in a sense, but it's also kind of tough. So this is where I went to the ambassador page, and I basically said, if your brand is a car, what car would you be? All right. Now remember, the CEO of Disney might think, oh, I'm a Maybach, or however you pronounce it, Mercedes-Benz, all right? I'm a Maybach, whatever they call it. I'm a Rolls-Royce. But Disney isn't innocent. So the good news for us is you are the brand. The hard part for businesses is how do you take a business and make it act like a person? And that's what I would come in and consult. But when all of a sudden we have these beautiful, wonderful people sign up and become It Works distributors, all of a sudden they start talking like a business. Don't talk like a business. They'll say, oh, just enjoying my glass of greens with 8 servings of fruits and vegetables, 38 superfoods, herbs, and night. What? Why would you do that? You know, no, you're a person. You don't do that. If you had a cheeseburger that you love tonight, you're not going to talk about it. You're not going to talk about where the bun was sourced. So anyway, so if your brand was a car, what car would it be? And here's why. Most of us don't realize it, but a car is one of the most self-identifying purchases we could ever make. Now, when you're young and when you're in college or early marriage or whatever, you buy what you can afford. That's all there's to it. I mean, you're not buying the car that really represents you. But when you start coming into a little bit more money, you buy a car that literally, it represents you. And so a car is almost like holding up a mirror. If I say, Rachel, if you were a car, what car would you be? And your response was that white Range Rover, right? So what does a white Range Rover tell me? It tells me you are a leader, okay? You are classy, you're luxurious, and it's out of reach for the common normal person, okay? All right? And so you're classy, you're sophisticated, there's a rugged side to the Range Rover, all right? It's a very, very capable off-roading vehicle. So this tells me you're strong, it tells me you're confident, it tells me you can run over some other cars if they get in your way. It tells me if you crash into something, you're going to walk away. But you're a leader. That's all there is to it. And so what happens is you may come away and go, wow, I just saw Stephanie Dunn post this awesome post. I'm gonna post the same thing. Or Ashley Olive, that was just wonderful. I'm going to do it too. But they might be a different archetype. And it's kind of like you needed to do this and it just does this. You're just barely not making that connection. In the business world, I call it brand message misalignment. And you have to be in alignment every time. So you get to show your fancy purse in social media. You get to dress nice and fancy and pretty. And you get to talk about, you know, when you go on an It Works conference, you get to stay at the Ritz, all right? And if you don't, you're probably going to show something nice and fancy. If you get the choice between renting a BMW and renting like a Ford pickup truck, you're probably going to rent the BMW, and that's going to hit your social media because it advances your brand. And what message does that end up telling your potentials? It tells them, if you want to be a leader, you want to sign under Rachel. That's the kicker. It doesn't mean, hey, I'm a leader, I'm a Mercedes driving person, I'm going to sign up under Rachel. No. I aspire to be like Rachel. So what does that mean? Think of a leader. So I did on my webpage, if I didn't send you the link, I can send it to you, a list of examples, female examples of all of these archetypes. And I'll give it to Rachel if I haven't already so that you can look at it. So think for leader of, oh man, what was her name? Mind slipping. The movie is The Proposal. Sandra Bullock's character in The Proposal. I can't remember her name. I want to say it's
notes if you guys know.
What was it?
No.
Okay. So that is a leader. What would she post on social media? What wouldn't she post on social media? What would she wear? What wouldn't she wear? What would she do? What wouldn't she do? How does she react if there's a problem? That's what you need to think through every time you do.
You said Meredith.
What is it?
Meredith.
Was that her name?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
That's what someone said.
I'm going to look it up here. Hold on a second. So, xcoach.com.
Margaret.
Margaret. That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah. Margaret.
All right. Archetype.
Well, we have that now.
There we go. And it's important. I'm going to pull this up here because hopefully that pulls up correctly. So, okay. So anyway. What would Margaret do? If you're a leader, you're going to ask yourself 100 times a day, what would Margaret do? What would Margaret do? Now, next, every woman. And every woman, anybody who posted on the ambassador page that said, you know, I'm just kind of like any pickup truck, except for the one that Joel posted, is an every man or an every woman archetype. I'm just a real woman with real issues making real money, all right? That's an every woman. And that's a wonderful message, but think about it. If that every woman person ever posted, I'm staying at the Ritz, you lost everybody. You just totally lost your audience. What? You rented a BMW do you know how expensive a BMW is to rent? That's your purse? You have a Louis Vuitton bag? What? I thought you were like me. It's totally alienating. So you can't be an every woman with a Louis Vuitton bag, right?
No, this is true. If
What's
I posted a Louis Vuitton bag, people would freak out because of the people who follow me. They would be very upset that I would spend my money that way. So I would never do that.
and that's the same. And it's exactly right. Now, let's take another person. Let's take a nurturer. So Tylenol is a nurturer brand. Nurturers obviously take care of people. Nurture brands help you take care of other people. So Tylenol commercials will say, you get up in the morning, you have mouths to feed, you have diapers to wipe, you have this and that. And for all the things you do, we have Tylenol because you can't afford to miss a second of it, right? So nurture brands take care of people and help nurturers take care of their people. So can a nurturer stay at the Ritz? Can a nurturer drive the Mercedes or the BMW or have the Louis Vuitton bag? I don't think so. Can a nurturer talk about on my way to ambassador, $30,000 a month? Yeah. No, they can't. A nurturer exists to help people and help you help people. Mm-hmm. Nothing more. So how does a nurturer talk about greens? It couldn't be the mom I am without my greens. Couldn't make it through the day without my greens. Couldn't help my baby. It's all about helping. It's all about being a better you because It Works products. How does a wrap make you do laundry better? Good luck. That's your challenge. All right? So that's what a nurturer does. So a nurturer car, a minivan, if you said, what best sums me up is probably a newer version of a minivan, then you're probably a nurturer. All right. Lover. This one is, first of all, take the word lover and get rid of it. Chevy Avalanche. Somebody wrote a Chevy Avalanche. Cool car, cool truck. You're probably an everyman, every woman. You might be an explorer though. So we got to kind of hold that out. Candace, hold on. My Porsche, we don't even know the name of it. Yeah, your Porsche, you are 100%, you're either a leader or a hero. All right? There's a slight distinction between hero and leader. And let me tell you, I am going to open your eyes to something huge. You ready for this? If you're taking notes, It Works is a hero brand. No questions asked. Look at this. Look at the hashtags. Look at the marketing. Look at the packaging. Look at everything. Fight. Bring it. Round 7. Round 8. It's all about beating, winning, overcoming. And so when you take a graphic from corporate and it says, bring it, and it's got splatters and all that other stuff, and you are the leader that Rachel is, the Range Rover driving, Ritz-Carlton staying Rachel, they don't connect. That's the problem.
Sorry.
It's a very big deal. It's okay. Think about it also for Laurie. Laurie is the innocent. The car that represents her is a Volkswagen convertible, a Volkswagen Bug, vintage cream colored with tan interior. She's crazy, right? So somebody says infinity. I'll get to you on all of these. So Laurie can't use corporate's graphics that much because it breaks her archetype. The same goes for, and every woman might be able to get away with it. Nurture. So nurture, you're driving a minivan. Lover. A lover is the person who, think of your 5 senses: touch, smell, taste, sight, and sound. Lovers are people who, think about it like a commercial for chocolate. It's going to say rich, velvety chocolate. Wow, that's descriptive words about what it feels like, tastes like, smells like. That's a lover. Lover is, think of a Marilyn Monroe, think of a Sofia Vergara. If Sofia Vergara was going to sell anything, it's going to have some sex appeal to it. You're never going to find a lover alone. Okay, this lover brand. They want to connect with people. They're a little bit of that party person. They like the finer things in life, the rich things in life. They're not going to drive a Mercedes because it was the best. They're going to drive a Mercedes because it was the most indulgent interior that they could find. You know, like a Bentley, maybe because it was indulgent. It was rich in experience and stuff. So that's lover. Good luck being a lover and selling networks products. I don't know how that's going to work. Comic. A comic is, think of Old Spice. They are the definition of a comic brand, okay? The problem is that when Old Spice came onto the scene in this latest round of, creative, they set the world on fire, all right? So excuse my French here, but they basically made it cool to be a jackass, all right? So what do? You just make a jackass out of yourself and you're going to sell millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of product. And honestly, it's working. Every brand is defaulting to become the jackass of their brand. So look at Velveeta cheese, wholesome American Velveeta. And now look at their ads. It's liquid gold, man. Their ads are hideous. They're horrible, but they're trying to be funny. And you're not funny, you're inauthentic. And you're not going to make it, and it looks desperate. So a comic brand is the brand that just, I make fun of myself, I make fun of life. It's not so much I have a good time. Of course it's in there. If you're just a party person, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the comic brand. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because guess what? You're selling supplements. I don't know that there's a whole lot of opportunity to be a comic, and make a fool out of life and yourself and actually build trust at the same time, Deodorant is a completely different object. So anyway, Rebel. Joel, finally got him to answer this. No, I got him to, but anyway, Joel answered. Joel said that he is either this Audi, this incredible Audi, the R8, or his truck. And it's this Roush Raptor. It is a beast of a truck, okay? Joel is a rebel. Joel wears funky shorts, funky t-shirt, long beard. Why? Because he can, dang it. That's why. Because he can and he can get away with it. And when he's on stage, I love when he's on stage because the answers are all tracking in a certain direction. And then all of a sudden Joel responds and it's like, what? And it was right. It was always like, whoa, that's a different way to think about it. Whoa, whoa, okay. And then he's a super godly guy at the same time. I mean, it's just crazy. So Joel is the definition of a rebel for me, okay? You basically go against the prevailing direction. That's all a rebel is. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's you. So Pepsi is it's a rebel brand. It's the choice of the new generation. It's the un-Coke. If innocent is Coke, what's the opposite of innocent? Rebel. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Anything that makes you want to run over anything that bucks against the tradition, that makes you a rebel brand. And there's opportunity for you to be a rebel brand with it works.
Someone said that they were confused between the difference between a mentor and a leader.
Okay. I am the mentor. So other words for mentor. Mentor, sage, teacher, coach. Okay? All the same thing. When you think of movies, because it's so much easier to try to cast these people as movies and so on. So in a movie, the male representation of a mentor would be Gandalf the Grey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda. These are classic mentors. Oprah Winfrey, in real life and her public-facing persona, is a mentor. That's why you always see Oprah doing things that involve learning and information. There's the Oprah Winfrey Book Club. There's the Oprah Winfrey television channel. Her show was all about bringing information to you and so on. The classic, my favorite example of a mentor brand right now is Farmers Insurance. Farmers Insurance says, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Then they cap it with, what you don't know about insurance can hurt you. And so a mentor like me says, information will set you free. Not having information could potentially hurt you. So a mentor is constantly looking to share their information, not in a superior way like, oh, did you know, That's not a mentor, that's just a jerk. A mentor is constantly looking to grow what they know because they know that that's going to help. And then they want to help people with that information. So if you're a mentor brand and you are trying to sell things, you're the one person who's going to be able to get away with what is a probiotic and why is it important for you? What's in the wraps and why is that good for you? Contrast, why is ProFit so good, but some of these other shake options are not so good for you? A really strong mentor brand can get away with that. But if you're not a mentor brand, you're not going to get away with that very well. A leader is just the best. That's it. And let's just, and Rachel, I don't know 100% if you are a leader, but for the sake of this call, we're going to say that you are, all right? And so if Rachel is actually she's in third place right now. She's not in number one. Let's say you're in third place and she's a leader. She knows, it's all right, I'm getting there. What you don't know is my plan to become number two and number one. You don't know that. Contrast that with the hero brand. And the hero brand's, no, I'm not, I'm number one, you just don't know it. I'm going to step on every throat, I'm going to beat everybody, I'm going to take over, I'm going to fight, I'm going to win, I'm not going to quit until I'm number one. That's the difference to a hero brand versus the leader brand. So think of Muhammad Ali. I am the champ. He said it before he was the champ. I am the best. He said it before he was the best. Okay, that is a hero. Mark Pentecost is a hero brand through and through. Mm-hmm. If he's not winning, he just said it at green carpet. I will find a way to win. Mm-hmm. Second place is the first place for losers. That's a hero brand. A leader will say, second place means I've improved and I know what I need to fix. I'm going to get there. Mm-hmm. So the hero brand, in my opinion, you're driving like an H2 Hummer. You're driving something that's just going to say, I'm going to go where I want and nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to get in my way. If you try, it's okay. I'll run over you. So think about, and I didn't see this post for sure, but it was my understanding, Ronnie Brown posted something. So you know how it's a lot of distributors will hold up their fingers. I don't know why they always hold it in some weird way. 2, I'm looking for 2 people to join my team. I'm looking for 4 people to join my team. Ronnie Brown, none. I don't need you to join my team. Do you think LeBron James is saying, I need 4 more guys to join my team? LeBron's saying, I'm winning the championship. If you want to win, you come and join me. That's a hero, all right? So anyway, a hero just win, win, win. In the down, everybody, all these have a downside. The downside of a hero is, even if it means stepping on people, I'm still the one. Let's go to creator. I think Brandon Walsh is a creator archetype. Creative, innovative, looking for, maybe some information or new ways to do things, maybe a style, maybe so you can differentiate yourself by your style, your look. You're out of the box and you're different, not bucking the trend like a rebel, but still different in a way that's going to make you better and more attractive. And then explorer is just, think of the Jeep, a Jeep Wrangler. Anybody who has a Jeep, a lot of SUVs are explorer brands, a lot of them, but right now we have an explosion in luxury SUVs, so it's no longer the same. But it used to be, go anywhere and take your family with you. You're an explorer. Jeep, like I said, is, if you can look up, and I've got examples somewhere, but if you look up any commercial on a Jeep Cherokee or a Wrangler, all the language, it's all about exploring, go beyond, go further, go, anything that tells you to go further, you're an explorer brand. All right. Lover, nurturer, innocent. We've hit all of them. Now, who are you? And so what I want you to start thinking, and I know that what we've done in this short amount of time is like tip of the iceberg. And what does this mean for your next 90 days? Magician, thank you. I didn't cover magician. Nurturer. Nurturer, like I said, is the Tylenol thing. The magician, the best example I can give, if you're even old enough to understand this one, was a company called Calgon. And Calgon made bath salts. I don't know what the right word is, but it's the stuff you poured in your bath. And then you'd lay in it. And the phrase was, Calgon, take me away. And any brand that makes you transcend your moment, okay? So if you watch a clothing detergent company, and then they take the shirt out of the washer and they go, and their eyes close, and all of a sudden now they're in Paris. You're probably a magician brand at this point, okay? My best example in my archetype thing was Olivia Pope on Scandal, where she's dressed like a leader. She acts like a hero. I listed her as a magician because she handles it. You don't know how she fixes things. You just know that she's going to fix things. Steve Jobs would talk about the iPad, and he would say, iPad does this, iPad does this. It's magic. He didn't say, because we have the best processor, the best graphics, the best amount of storage and RAM and electric. What? He said, it's magic. And you know what? We believed him. And the thing was, the iPad didn't exist before that. And all of a sudden, boom, here it is. After that, it's not so much of a magic brand. I'm trying to catch this fly. After that, it wasn't so much of a magician thing anymore, okay? So how do you find out what brand you are? Can you be multiple brands? No. You can have a primary and a secondary. You can be, and there's a big difference. So let me say, I can be a leader nurturer, or I can be a nurturer leader. They're different, okay? So I can be a leader and think about a really tough dad, all right? Maybe he's the CEO of a company. I run a tight ship. And then at home, he's really strict with the kids, all right? But he's strict because he knows that that's the best way to love them. That would be a leader nurturer. And then the flip-flop would be a hospital that is a nurturer, but we're the best dang hospital in 3 counties. We're the best hospital in the state. We're the best hospital on the East Coast. So that is where that hospital is saying, we take care of people, but we're the best at it. And so anyway, you can have a dominant and a subdominant, or a primary and secondary, but there's no room for 3.
Is there a way, like, for people to filter through to find their brand or archetype by even the colors that it works as put out, like red, blue, green, yellow, or no?
That's great. I've tried. If you're blue, that means you're a party. Hey, I'm paid to party. So what is that? That's, and I've really tried. I mean, yellow screams nurturer, all right? But boy, that leaves a lot off the table, right? If you're a hero, does that mean you're a party animal? Look at Mark. Is Mark a partier? Is he, Mark's a hero, clearly. But does that mean he's a blue? Or is he a green because he needs the information? And with that information, he's going to kick your tail. I don't know. Green and mentor are very, very, because I'm green and I'm a mentor, that makes sense to me. So I think what you need to think through is the 4 colors tell you how you're going to be one of these 12. So I'm going to party. I'm blue. I'm going to party my way to the best leader I can be. I'm going to party my way to be the Mercedes of my industry. I don't have any shortcuts. I tried this for the last week. Since I saw you, Rachel, I've been trying to make a self-assessment quiz and post it online, and I've tried it where you fill it out and then it emails me and it already scores you and sends it to you, and it just failed miserably. So anyway.
Well, that's okay. I was thinking that because I am very yellow. Probably I would think that I'm more yellow on social media, but I'm really red in person. So
yes.
I'm like different personality, I think, on social media than I am in person.
So Laurie,
other people might be like that too, maybe.
Laurie she's extremely green in the information, but with her inner circle of her team, that very tight group, she's very red, but it's sweet. It's like the mom. Think of a mama bear. All right, Mama bear is going to rip your head off if you come near the cubs. All right, that's all there is to it. So remember that all of this is about your public-facing side, but what we don't realize is who we really are comes out, even if we're not trying to, even if we're trying not to let it come out. There are some people, and even on the ambassador page, that posted, I'm this here and I'm this there. And the reality is your husband, if you're married, if you have a significant other, your significant other will probably look you dead in the eye and be able to pin you and go, you are this. And that's all there is to it, okay? It's crazy funny how that works. Or maybe even a best friend can tell you, oh my gosh, Rachel, you're this, or you're that, or so on. What was funny is even on the ambassador page, I wanted to be able to ask, I wanted to be able to set people up and go, all right, everybody, what's Rachel? And everybody would be able to tell Rachel what Rachel is. Everybody would be able to tell Joel what Joel is. But Joel might not be able to know what Joel actually is. So anyway, so I'm confused as to what I am.
So you're just kind of encouraging to get your circle of people around you and have them tell you what you are, if you're confused, because it sounds like a lot of people are not sure what they are.
And I think that that's very fair. And and let's be honest. That's what we see in social media right now. And when you hop onto your social media, when you look at even your friends and your other fellow distributors and stuff, what we see is a lot of brand confusion. And it's okay to not know who you are. It's just not okay to stay there. Like I said, this isn't just about business. This is really about life. I love that phrase that says, he who stands for nothing falls for everything. If you don't know what you stand for, if you don't know who you are today, everything's an option. And that means you're torn in a billion directions in life and in business. So this is just, golly, it's just vital that you learn it and figure this out. Because don't we want to be liked by everybody? And isn't it common to think, well, I want to go and like everybody? So anyway, it's tough. So last thing I want to say about this, I'm not leaving. You can leave anytime you want. But the number one point that I need to make sure that I talk about is a word called opportunity. And you all know what the word opportunity means. But I need you to really grasp that there is no right or wrong on this wheel, this group of 12. There's no right or wrong. It's all about opportunity. And in business, what the key to breakthrough business success never comes down to a right and a wrong decision. It comes down to a right and a righter decision. It's so subtle. It's so subtle. If business decisions are always between right and wrong, everybody picks the right decision and everybody's, $3 billion. It's about right and right. You're looking for opportunity. And so I want you to take these identities and literally, I always talk about this. I say, try it on like it's a shirt, like it's a jacket, and put it on and go, okay, if I'm a nurturer, that means I want to post like this and I want to carry myself like that. It feels a little restricted. All right, I'm going to try mentor. And oh, wow, all of a sudden now you're more creative. I've got 50 ideas of posts. I now know how I should relate to my friends and my family. You tried them on, you found more opportunity here than there, then you are a mentor. So always look for opportunity. That is your key. Authenticity is key. If you really are like a Mark Pentecost, you're a hero, don't try to be a nurturer. Everybody will see right through you. You're not going to come across as authentic. Don't try to be an innocent. If you're a leader, you're not going to pull off the innocent act at all. So you've got to find what works for you and you've got to stick with it and so on. I will commit to providing you all more resources to help you find who you are, okay?
They're hoping for the definitions too. Do you have them kind of written out?
Yeah, I've got it largely. And also, let me say, I didn't invent this. I've invented how to apply it to you. I've invented how to uncover it for you. Okay, like I can have a conversation with you, Rachel, and in 10 minutes, you're this, you're that, you have a sub this, and so on. And here's how you apply it to your brand. This is how you're going to be successful with it. But so I told you at the very beginning, write down archetypes and branding. And if you Google that, you'll be able to find, and you can look up rebel brand, comic brand, lover brand, nurturer brand, all of those words. And you're going to find lists of examples. I disagree with some of them. They'll say Apple is a magician. I don't know. Apple's an innocent. Don't think so. Apple is a creator. Not likely. I just think, so you're going to have to apply your own. You can message and do all that other good stuff, you know, but it's, the information's out there. You can Google some of this and so on.
Cool. Wow. Well, thank you so much. This was super helpful. Somebody said check out sparkle.com. Has great descriptions of whatever it is talking about.
I'm familiar with Sparkle. That's correct. I've got a website that I'm building, and it's BX Coach. It's on the graphic. It's bxcoach.com. You can check into it, but literally, it's like, why should I continue developing this when I've got my thing with Laurie? And I'm really only building it for teams like you guys. And so I'm going to add more and more and more. So what happens is you identify who you are outer ring, and then you go to the inner ring. And how does who you are out here, how does it come to fruition at these 6 points? That's the kicker. That's when you know you've got it nailed. It's hitting all of that. So go to bxcoach.com, but you're not going to find a whole heck of a lot right now. I'm going to open up I've got some pages that are hidden. I'll open those up for you too. But I want this to be, it's kind of like this. I'm going to put blinders on you, all right? And you're going to see more with them. That's the crazy part. It's called creative constraint. By limiting what you say and do, it frees you to do so much more. And your messages are going to be more intense, longer lasting, more memorable. You're going to build loyalty with your audience and trust, and it will pop you up. If you stay consistent with this over your 90 days and forever, oh my gosh, you're going to start seeing the connections with people that you have not been able to make connections with. That's the kicker.
Yeah, and I recommend you guys going to their, like, Lori Bowe's page. Then you can kind of see, he'd mentioned some of the things, like she focuses on bows because that's her last name. And, you know, she's very focused on her kids and the little girl to be. And so she's very strongly branded. Very strongly branded.
And all that word means is we apply these principles to everything we can think of. Everything. And
so pretty much, like, their posts are going to go through and be looped through the things that he was talking about tonight. Yes. So it's funneled through, like, how people perceive them. And it may not even necessarily be like what you're going to be like if we sat down and had dinner. You know, that perception might change. But what they're putting on social media is funneled through exactly what they want people to see. Because then that draws in the potential customers, that draws in the potential distributors. So this is how they got to ambassador in a year. This is how they're building their brand and they're going beyond. So
think about it like this. If you go out and you just become a DT signing machine and you sign 15 people this month, how many people are actually going to stick with it? 3, 5? I don't know. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go sign 15 people this month, or do you want to sign the 3 people that are going to stick with you and really change your business? Mm-hmm. And that's just another way to think about it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and then you guys can get off if you need to. Everett, just let me know when you're ready. And
I'll stay on. Yeah, I can stay on for a while.
Okay, so I'm going to stop recording.